All right, so this is like the 5th time I've tried to say what I'm doing, but from my other videos, I ended up finding out these batteries are toast. They're 6 8D 245 amp batteries, and you can see that's not right. I don't know how something didn't happen. I don't know why they still worked. Why they still work right now. So I'm gonna take all of these out of here. They're like 150 pounds a piece. They're huge. So I'm gonna put them on my trailer and then try to figure out what the hell to do with them. So my plan is to get rid of these batteries and put lithium in. And in order to do that, you got to start back here at the back. And so this right here is a Delco 50DN. It is a 24 volt 270 amp alternator. Right here, this is another alternator, and it goes to my start batteries, so I'm going to leave it alone. But what I found out, so these alternators, if you don't know about it, so this one's oil cooled, but on the quick alternator 101, when this thing turns, you have a positive and negative wire, and to get voltage and current out of it, you've got to apply a field voltage to the field wire, and then so that's what makes your current come out. So it had this wire connected to it. Well, I found it's connected to this. So what I'm thinking is, when I ran my chassis batteries down this winter and they wouldn't hold a charge, I think this thing was pumping voltage into those other batteries. So I don't know. Anyway, so what I'm going to do, the part of the problem is that lithium batteries on a standard alternator, like on your car, they'll pull too much amps through it and burn it up. I've got the reverse problem. This one's 270 amp. My battery's BMS has 100 amp. So what I've found is I'm getting this other device. I'll show it up here and I'll put a link. It's called a Wakespeed voltage regulator. And so what happens is you connect one line of the Wakespeed to your battery, the positive and negative. Actually, with this Wakespeed, it takes a whole bunch of information, but basically the gist of it is that it will regulate this alternator with that field wire to a lithium setting. And so it'll take a whole bunch of settings. Now, one issue is the lithium batteries, if there's a setting out of parameter, it could shut itself off. And then what happens is they call it a load dump. And if this thing's chugging out voltage and current and the battery cuts off the positive wire, it'll, I guess, create a huge voltage spike and melt down your alternator and seize it up. So I found this other device. It's called an Sterling alternator protection device. I'll put a link and picture up here. And what that does is, in the event that happens, it will dissipate that voltage spike out. So the voltage spike can go up to infinity, but as the voltage goes up, the current goes down. So it's very low current, very high voltage. And so it doesn't take that much of wire. And so what it's supposed to do is dissipate that out. So kind of figured out the answer to a couple problems, I guess, is that voltage dump from the BMS and how to control the alternator. And so the one problem I'm going to have is I've got a 3000 watt and a 3000 watt alternator or inverter, and they're going to pull from a 5000 watt 100 amp battery, but I'm going to make this also 24 volt instead of 2 12s, because if the BMS in the 2 12 volt batteries that are making the 24, if one of them goes out, then I've got a 12 volt battery in between a 24 volt system, and that's bad. So I'm getting a 24 volt 5,000 watt lithium battery, and then if it shuts down, the inverters will just go off, and then the load dump to the alternator, that protection device will keep it. So now the other thing I found is this is just on my coach, I've got my 12 volt load, and then back here I ended up finding out that goes to my aqua hot. So I'm got a 24 volt to 12 volt DC converter. I'll put a link and a picture up here. And what that'll do is it'll take my 24 volt lithium battery, step it down to the 12 volt for up here. So I should be able to run everything. So the one not really issue is that I'm going to get rid of all these batteries. It's probably 7,000 watts of power by the time you take 40 to 50% of it. The new battery is going to be almost the size of that panel. And so I'm going to rip all this out. I'm going to be able to take the vanners out, all of this wiring. So that's probably going to be 1,500 pounds. I'm just going to take out, and then I'm going to stick this little battery in there. So I don't know, probably take the time, I guess, to take some of these wires, maybe push them over in this bay and clean it up. I'm not real sure, but that's the plan that I've got coming up. Just wanted to share a quick video. Should be getting some parts later this week, next. But I'm going to go ahead and rip these batteries out, try to clean the bay up, and get it ready for the... I was going to add real quick, again, this is just a quick video before I make another one, I guess, just showing you what I'm doing. So I went in and I added up all the stuff that runs off of that 12 volt. And I can only get to like 400 or 500 amps, and that's with the aqua hot. And the aqua hot is that back there. So I've got a 24 to 12 70 amp converter, so I think I should be fine. If I need more, I can add more. The other thing that I'm going to have to work through is the battery. If it gets below 32 degrees, it won't accept a charge. I think you can still pull current from it, but it won't accept it. So I'm trying to figure out some way to keep it warm, and I can just throw the battery right here. So I don't know, trying to figure out what to do with all of this. I've got to leave, not this Friday, but next Friday. So I need to get it all hooked up at least, and I guess try it out, and then I can tear it all back apart if I want to. But I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here, just kind of letting you know what I'm doing. Basically, these batteries are toast, so if anybody wants them, let me know. You gotta come here and get them. And gonna put new lithium in, gonna connect those to my inverters, and gonna have a 24 to 12 step down to run my 12 volt loads, take out all the vanner, everything in this bay, and then the monster alternator. I'm going to have this Wakespeed device that's going to control the field voltage to the alternator. I'm going to dial it down because my new battery is only 100 amp. And then I'm also going to put that protection device for the alternator. So if the battery says, hey, I'm shutting down, it won't hurt the alternator. Now, the one thing that I think will be interesting is if the battery shuts down, I got to look at the settings of the Wakespeed, but I can run 270 amps to my alternators. I don't need my batteries at that point, so be kind of interesting. The other thing I can do too is if I add another battery, the in and out is 200 amps, and if I add 3 batteries, the in and out's 300 amps, and so the problem kind of goes away the more batteries you add. But the more batteries you add at 5,000 watts piece, more money it costs. So I'm going to start off with 1 for now and see how it goes. But that's where I'm going to end it here. I'm going to upload it just so you can see what I'm doing, and then I'll keep adding more. Again, I'll put links to all the stuff I'm using. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and remove all the fuses from the positive side, and that will take the load off the inverters, which they're off now, and then I'll work on then taking the negatives off of the batteries, and then trying to slowly pull all the cables off of this, and hope, I don't know. Well, after I do that, I'm gonna have to undo the vanners, so I'll have to read on there which ones. It's got a sequence on there of how to put it together and take it off. So, and take the vanners off. All right, so I got the fuses out, I got the vanners unhooked, and now I'm working on pulling all the cables off, trying not to cause any sparks. So I got a lot of the cables off, all the crap out, and I've pulled the batteries onto this cart and then moving them over there, a couple 100 pounds a piece. Now I just got to get these 3 babies off of here. Where there's a will, there's a way. So I got my big cooler, and I'm pulling the batteries down on the cooler, and I'm putting the coolers or the batteries on here and wheeling them over. So break the height down. All the batteries are now on the trailer. What is that? 153, 6, 9, 900 pounds of batteries. And probably 100 pounds of cable. Now I got a mess. I'm gonna work on getting that table out of there. All right, it's 10:30. I got everything out of here. Got the generator battery out. I think this wood is trashed. I'm thinking some of that acid came out and destroyed it, so I don't know how I'm gonna. Hopefully that panel just kind of sits in there and I can put another one in. I have no idea how that works. But now you can kind of see that battery could sit right there on the ground. I could have that whole bay open, or I could move some of the stuff. So I don't know, figure it out.